Hey, all you church people, it's me, Hannah, again, coming to recommend some books to you to read to your kids that I've read to mine. Now, my kids are currently the ages of 4, 8, and 10. And these are some of the books that I've read to them that they have enjoyed and that I haven't lost my mind reading to them. This section I want to talk about today is just on biographies, real life people with real faith in Christ. The first one I have right here is Stories for Boys with God-Sized Dreams. I got this book when my church was having they're dissolving their bookstore because thanks, Amazon. But anyways, they were dissolving it. I got this book on for sale. It's only biographies about men. And so I read this to my son every night until we were done, and it was phenomenal. I would definitely encourage it if you have a son as well. This next book series were ones that I read as a kid that I was able to find again used on Amazon. It is 3 series of books, which forgive me, I only have 2 right now because I lent out one to my friend. It is called Hero Tales by Dave and Netta Jackson. And I guess I should get you that name for 30 Stories of Boys with God-Sized Dreams. That one is written by, guess what? No author name. Sorry, they don't get the cred. But Dave and Netta Jackson made 3 volumes of these hero tales. Volume 1, I gave to my friend. This one's volume 2 and volume 3. These were phenomenal to hear of recent Christian missionaries who lived out their faith in their own country and in a foreign country for them. I remember reading this as a kid, and I remember just thinking like, wow, these are real life people doing huge things. Because I didn't know anybody who was living out their faith extreme ways, like just, practically just being missionaries in other countries, learning languages, and just attempting and accomplishing great things for God. I didn't know those types of people. But when I read these books, when I had these read to me, even in Sunday school, when we did missions nights, that was what I feel like solidified my faith a little bit more, because it was great to hear of other people who had a strong faith as well. So if your kids are younger, I recommend these series of biographies. But like I said, I'm pretty sure they're out of print, so they're going to be pretty difficult to find. But if you find one, go for it. Totally worth it. They have different, some of the people that they recommend in, or talk about, in Hero Tales. You have Billy Graham, Mother Teresa, Lottie Moon, Jonathan and Rosalind Goforth, Jim Elliot, John Bunyan, Florence Nightingale, and Corrie ten Boom. So we got very current people, and we also have very not current people in these books. Then last book I'm going to recommend in this video series, maybe I'll come up with another one, is this one right here. I have a different in-depth review on it, but it's called Stories of the Saints. I was able to borrow it from my local library. And this is specifically about the Catholic saints and just saints that have come after John the Disciple. We have the one that John the Disciple had a disciple, right? And his name was, I don't want to botch it. Let me find it. Polycarp. Forgive me for not remembering, because guess what? I'm 32 years old and I've been going to church since I was born, and I did not hear about, I'd say, 99% of the people that were in this book. Now, the only thing I want to say is you can look at my different, my other review, because I open up these pages in depth, but the illustrations are very, kind of like scarier for my kids. So if you wanted to get into biography for your kids and they're younger, I would say go for the Hero Tales or the 30 Stories for Boys. This one I would say is more like, maybe I would open this up if your kid has a strong, tolerance for fear and little scary photos, or if they're like in junior high. So yes, these are my recommended books for biographies of great men and women who have attempted great things for God, and God has been there to see them through. They've gone through struggles, but God has seen them through. I cannot guarantee kids an easy faith or a fun faith, but I can encourage a life-changing faith. And so that's why I believe that we should encourage more biography and missionary readings to kids than ever before. Because the Bible is great, but a lot of curriculums nowadays are not showing kids that, faith isn't always a fun thing. Faith isn't always an easy thing. They try to, but I feel like it doesn't communicate as well. But when you read these stories on how some of these missionaries didn't have food, how some of these missionaries were literally getting beaten for being believers, I think it sends a message that following Christ is worth doing and totally worth dying for. Because before, when we were sinners, Christ died for us. And so now that we're believers, we can totally live lives that glorify Christ. So if you are trying to find ways to strengthen your kids' faith, I recommend you pull out a biography and read it to them. Don't give it to them and be like, read this, kid, because guess what? They're going to be like, oh, man, this is not exciting. You want to be the person that's mentioned in Deuteronomy, where you have your kids come to you and you talk about faith with them. Just have it be real organic, nothing real holy. Don't be yelling at your kids before you do it. Remember, you want to show the light of Christ and you practice that goodness and mercy. But you want to make faith and just talking about God more organic in your household. And what better way to do that than by transforming your evenings into a story time that will build and grow deep roots into a long-lasting faith. Because guess what? I want kids to grow up questioning things because I want them to have, I got a kid in the room, I want them to have a deep faith. 1 second. So that's my recommendations to you. These biography books. If you have read any of them or you have a recommendation that I didn't mention within these books right here, please drop it in the comments below. Have a great afternoon and keep reading to your kids. Bye.